Hi everyone,
Hi.
welcome to episode number 3 of W.E.Podcast. Most of us know how to perform our life. We don't know ourselves. Most of us know how to maintain a character, but don't know the real us. If you remove the name, if you remove the your family, your financial status, your job, then what is there? What is remaining?
Very
Hi
true.
Amy.
Hi, Dr.Art. I love this opening. You wrote this opening, and I was like, you have to say it. I am very happy that you got us off on the right foot. So, folks, today we are going to talk about authenticity. What does it mean to be real? Exploring this theme, we're going to talk about how the internet has maybe complicated or clarified. I'm not really sure this subject. Um, Guru, I think we're old because we didn't grow up with the internet, but kids today, like, they can have an iPad at like a young age. uh, does that make us old? I don't know.
No, we are
That's
young
right.
at heart. Maybe we are old
That's
by
right.
chronologically, but
Well, we
young at
both
heart.
have you have Disney characters and I have Bugs Bunny on my clothes today. So we are very young at heart. But yeah, we'll get into this and explore like really this question of like authenticity. I feel like it's such a buzzword nowadays. But before we get into that,
Yeah, it's a very
yes,
heavy word.
yes, very true. Okay, before we get into that though, we always ask, how are you doing? I like your setup today. Do
I'm
you have
good.
AC today?
I'm good.
Yes. Good.
Yes.
Uh, and yeah, we're excited to be. We're on the third episode now, so we're rocking and rolling. I'm getting used to this video thing. Uh, Speaking of authenticity, this whole topic is hilarious to me because we do these sessions as if they're live. We write notes, like you'll see me look down. I have notes here, and we're trying to prep
Yeah.
more because we're
Yeah.
on video. But at the end of the day, like people are watching a pre-recorded, you know what I mean, like an episode. You're getting like a maybe like 0.008% of who we actually are. You know what I mean? It's authentic, but so let me ask you. Yeah, go ahead.
So you ask
Okay, I
and
was
I'll
gonna say,
answer.
so like, how do you know who you are?
Let's
That's
be
what I was gonna
real.
say. Like, how do you know who you are? Like, this is podcast us. It's not that far from actual us, obviously. But how do you answer that question? Where do we
Yeah,
start?
but it is part of us, not it's very tiny, tiny part of us, not
Yes.
real us.
Yeah. Yeah. So who are you? That's my question.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so who are you? The first time when this question came to me was like in 2022 when I was going through therapy and all. That time I was reading one book. It's called Welcome Home by
Okay.
Zabian. She's a Lebanese writer. I think she's
Oh,
Canadian.
nice.
So in that, the first time I read about your authentic self, your own self, and it was so confusing for me that I am me. How can there is something different in me which I don't know? And that's how I tried to learn. Oh, it's a very vast topic. It's simple yet complicated, so you cannot know by day one that who are you. Because we are playing a part. We are who we have been told by, since like we have been conditioned this way that this is you. Like since childhood, your parents have put their culture in you, their upbringing in you. So you have, that is not real you, that is who have been, you have been trained to be. So if you remove all the layers underneath, there is someone who, without any hesitation, without any judgment, without any, boundaries, there is one thing which is you. Even you are not connected with that part of you. So you have to peel the layers by layers by layers, and then you have to know that who you really are. If no one is watching you, if no one is listening to you, and that time who are you? That's why in this, because it is so everybody wants to know about their authentic self, but they don't want to do the work to know about it. In this social media era, I would say, mental health has Right now it's a topic of the town. Everybody is talking about mental health, healing, this and that, but it has been glorified
Yeah,
that's what I
well,
feel. Like it is also, even if the speaker who is speaking has curated the content and presenting to us, it is not
well,
100%
it's
real.
it's all for the
The setup
algorithm,
is
right?
good, it is made
Yeah, they talk
aesthetic.
about like this
Yeah,
algorithm. Like I think you're bringing up some good points. What you started by saying, when we're little, and it's true, you're kind of like who you are is like sort of given to you, right, by who you're exposed to. You're like your parents, your
yeah,
grandparents, your family. You
yeah,
go to
yeah,
school, you're conditioned to like set a certain routine. If you grow like my family's was Catholic growing up, so I was given that identity of like religion and um so I
yeah.
had like a certain set of like routines and rituals that I followed. And when you're saying that, people are starting to explore their authentic selves or they don't know who they are, how do if you don't know that that's being downloaded, I'm just thinking like how do you know to question it, right? And then something like social media, people are trying to sell you something on social media a lot of the time, right? So if mental
Definitely,
health is like
definitely.
popular, is that authentic even? Like, how do you know that they're actually trying to,
So
yeah,
it's
go ahead.
partially, I would say it is partially authentic. They are trying to help us only, every influencer. Not everyone is trying to
Yeah,
sell us something. They are also in the pursuit of seeking what is the real them
yeah,
themselves,
yeah,
you know. But it is still, curated. We need to have that understanding that it is as the made aesthetic for us to, feel good about ourselves or bad about ourselves, and we absorb their content, and we become that content. So we are not even that content. That is very we have to unlearn lot of things to find out who you
yeah,
really are. For that you need to sit with yourself in silence,
yeah,
and which is very very difficult. You just close your eyes and sit for just 1 minute without any phone, without any sound, without any, any distraction, and you will feel so uncomfortable initially that something is not right, because it's very, we are not used to
isn't that
that.
like the point of, not the point, that's a really oversimplification, but meditation, when they say you should have that practice
Yeah,
daily of meditating. A
yeah,
lot of people
yeah,
think, you listen to like a guided meditation and you go on a journey, but really it's about clearing your head, right? The thoughts come, but you
yeah,
don't attach
yeah,
yourself to anything. It's like cars passing you, right? You
yeah.
don't get in every car if you're walking along the
So
road. They just pass. Yeah.
hmm. So initially guided meditation helps because, when we close our eyes and our thoughts are so wild, they start jumping here and there. So that guided meditation gives us the direction to, connect to our breath. Once you are used to it, slowly slowly you can, reduce the guided meditation and go in silence. Like start by 5 minutes this and 2 minutes this. Then you will know that the resistance will come so much. Even I have felt that resistance. Like I used to feel so uncomfortable that there should be some sound, there should be, I need to come out of it. But right now I am at space that I am, it's because we are not comfortable with ourselves. We are attached with our results, we are attached with our success, we are attached with our bank balance, our looks. uh, that's why we are not secure in ourselves. The day we feel secure in ourselves, we will not care about, any of other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult
Well,
journey,
and
I
I
think.
I think like I think that's a good point. I don't know if that's everybody's journey, but I think that's a lot of people's journey for sure. And
Yeah, yeah,
we
definitely.
talked about
Yeah,
perspective, I think last episode or two episodes ago. Um, you know, thing things like social media, the internet, all of these like different types of content that you can consume. I don't, so, people want to tell you it's good or it's bad. It just is. The difference is
yeah,
how you approach it. What's your intent? What are your
yes,
boundaries, right? What are you
yes,
willing to feed your subconscious and expose yourself to, and what are you not? That's why it's dangerous for children and like a young impressionable mind to just be on the internet without any like guidance or boundaries because you're not aware of it. When I was 12, I didn't know that all of those silly videos that we were watching at the time, could potentially have a bad impact, let's say, or negative impact, or influence me certain ways. I just knew that like my parents didn't let me go
Yes.
on in certain spaces, or like I wasn't allowed to have like a MySpace, whatever that was about. And I wasn't really allowed to go on
Yeah.
social media a whole lot until I think I was in high school. But then by then I didn't care to do it anyways. Like it really came out. Facebook started. Oh gosh, people are gonna figure out how old I am, but um, it was really new when I was young, so it kind of gives you an idea. But I didn't really have that habit. My brother was very much on like social media, so he's like way better at it than me. I don't really. I actually thought of myself like maybe I'm a loser because I didn't have a lot of social media. And then when I got to university, I'm totally calling myself out here, but we're talking about being real, right? I I was in like a small program and I was like, oh, now I'm cool. So I would like go, to like the parties that the program had. You like pose in photos and like you're getting into shenanigans and but that's not really you. That wasn't authentically me. Like I
Yeah.
like people, I like having a good time, a good conversation, I like to laugh. But when
It's our try to be
yeah,
accepted because everybody is doing that. If we do that somewhere, we will be part
exactly,
of
and like,
group.
oh, this will make me cool, and people, I'll get that validation. Um, but when I think back on it now, like, I'm gonna make a weird jump for a second, but I didn't really listen to hip hop growing up, and Shivam put me onto hip hop. And there's an artist, Royce da 5'9". I've probably quoted him a few times on this show. Uh, a very wise person, and his lyrics are very good. But so he has a couple of songs, like in one of his songs, Caterpillar, he says it's completely normal to hold on to a regret or two, and that resonates with me because I think back to those moments and I'm like, man, that stuff's on the internet forever now. Like, there's nothing like terrible, but I'm just saying, like, you know, your children someday see a picture of you like I don't know, like at a party or something, and you're trying to tell them to like stay home and like be studious, and they're like, but look, mom, like you were living it up in your college days. uh um and then like in his album Allegory, he has this whole song called Rhinestone Durag, which I won't even get into because that could be a whole other episode. But he touches on a few things that like it's a good song to listen to. Rhinestone Durag, I highly recommend it, folks. You listen to it now, and then 5 years from now, listen to it. You might even get more meaning in it. Um, I went on a tangent, but I'll bring it back to like authenticity and like who you are. I think that that's also allowed to change and allowed to transform, and you're allowed to discover different parts of yourself. Um, but just, we gotta remember to hold on to that, um, like that individuality. And I don't mean that in a hokey way or like this isn't a marketing
Yeah.
campaign, right?
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with scrolling through a social media feed on its own. Um,
See, you have been given one life. You are free to do whatever you
yes,
want. You want to just lie down and don't do nothing, then it's up to you. There is actually no pressure from anyone. But the only thing is the where the problem comes that we because of our conditioning, we forget about what we want and we start doing things which everybody expects us to do. I am like I'm guilty for that. I didn't know till very later age that what I want to
yeah,
do. And even though I used to feel so guilty if I used to say no to people pleasing, all these things. I'm guilty of that too because no one was there to explain me all these things. I had to find out by myself all these things. So I want to be a person who can at least give something back to community, and if someone wants help, I can guide them because I have
yeah,
seen the struggle. So there is nothing wrong with scrolling social media, putting things on social media, but you should be aware that what you are gaining from it or what is your own
yeah,
purpose for it.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
because we are learning from this content only, like who are putting online, our even our
yep,
podcast is online.
exactly.
So there is nothing wrong with that, but the only thing is what you are absorbing and what you are not absorbing. That filter you should decide, not the, sometimes what happens, I have done, like literally I have done that. I always used to feel outcasted. So I used to try to fit in. I have done things which was not authentic for myself, and when I think now, I think I should not have done that. It was not
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Uh, and but isn't there something like so I agree with you, and I literally just said the same thing, right? That I think back and go, oh, that wasn't me. Like, why did I do that? But there's also something really like I'm very grateful that I can get to that point in my growth as a person too, to even recognize
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And one
yeah.
of the things I was thinking about in this conversation that we were going to have today is that it's really important for people to like you have to forgive yourself. I don't no one else is responsible for
So
that.
that's what I'm trying to say. There is
Yeah,
nothing wrong with
exactly.
anything.
Exactly.
There is,
Yeah. Uh,
everybody has their
mhm.
own journey, and they don't have to feel ashamed for it. I used to feel that way, but I'm
Yeah.
okay with that now. I think I my that self didn't know better. That's why that I did that, and now I know better. Maybe after 20 years or after 10 years, this self, what is doing right now, that self will feel that this
Yeah.
was dumb idea. So maybe that was my
Yeah.
growth.
Well, like we might look even back at this podcast even and be like, oh, maybe we could have done this and this and this and this differently,
Better,
but that's
yeah.
kind of the fun of life too, right? Is that there's a great poem by Rudyard Kipling. I think it's just called If, and the whole poem is about uh, a man building up certain things in his life, and then it gets taken away from him, and it all gets destroyed, and he keeps Rudyard Kipling keeps like saying, but if you have the courage to keep rebuilding it, then you'll be a man someday. And so that's like it's a dated poem. He's not just talking about men. I'm not looking for like the woke crowd to come after us here, but I believe he's just talking about people, and he's talking about resilience. And we've talked about this before too, right? Maybe we even did it a couple episodes ago. The process is always more fun than the result. So um, yeah, so
Yes.
like these moments, sometimes the moments that we look back on and say, oh, oh, I wish I didn't do that, or I wish I didn't do it like that. Being honest about that, and just trying to have like the right intent. I'm speaking in a binary, but it's necessary for this.
Accept
Yeah,
yourself, yeah,
the,
accept yourself for
and
who you
and
are.
other people can look at that, and like when moments when you feel vulnerable or weak, let's say, are also moments where other people see you as strong. So that's at the beginning when I was saying, did the internet complicate or clarify this conversation of authenticity? I feel like sometimes um the more that something tries to take you away from an idea, the closer it also brings brings you to. Like it just throws you right back in it. Um, so yeah, so maybe it is a good thing, or it can be a good thing, or I should just stop talking about it as it's good or it's bad because I already said that it wasn't that.
so
Yeah,
so I think in modern era, being real or being authentic self has put lot of pressure on yourself, that it's just a process. Just try to learn, unlearn,
yeah,
experience life, and whatever you meant to be, you will, it will
yeah,
find your way,
100%,
it will
100%.
find
Now,
you. And
yeah,
you have come alone, you will go alone. So you have to not depend on anyone to
mhm,
love you or to forgive you or to understand you. If you do yourself that much, you if you love yourself, you if you only can make your feel self
yeah,
feel safe.
yeah,
Rest, we all need a people. I'm not saying that you don't need people, but unless and until you are secure inside, your outside surrounding will feel, you always reflect what is inside to your
yeah, very
outside
true.
world. So if your inside world has chaos, then outside world will be chaotic. If your inside has calm, then outside world will be calm. So just try to be you, live your life, enjoy, and I think don't broadcast your life rather than just live your life.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Um, I agree. I don't even have anything to add to that. The only other thing I was going to say in this conversation was that there was one article that I saw, and we're not going to have time to get into this, so maybe this is like I'm setting up hopefully a future episode. Um, I read this article. So the author, I hope I don't mess up his name too bad. Gurcharan Das. He wrote a book called The Difficulty of Being Good that kind of explores the Mahabharata, um, but like in a modern era. Uh, he was um, he was asked by a company. So I'll send you the article. I didn't even send it to Dr. Art before this because I read it and said, "Oh, we don't have time to get into this, but this would be an interesting direction to take this conversation in later." He was approached by an AI company that's creating a software that will allow people to engage with certain like classics through like globally, right? So different countries, different cultures, different like classic and like fundamental literature. I don't mean to disrespect the Bhagavad Gita, it's more than that. But in the context of the Bhagavad Gita, they asked Mr. Das to conduct a series of interviews with them, and then they were going to use the language from like the interviews to create an AI tool that people can read the Bhagavad Gita and then interact with this AI and have conversations and ask questions so that they can have a really like intimate, engaging experience. And the reason I'm bringing this up is to bring it back to authenticity. I mean, there's already like, we haven't talked about AI at all. I feel like that whole conversation, AI and authenticity and who are you in that virtual space would be interesting to explore. But he also had imposter syndrome when he was asked. Like he fully, spoke to his wife and said, I'm agnostic. Why am I the right person? You should go to like a Sanskrit, guru, somebody who has studied like classic and fundamental Hindu texts. But he was asked because of that book that he wrote in his Insights about Mahabharata. So I just thought that that was a really cool article. Um, and I think it would be cool to explore that conversation if you're down. Like, let's bring AI into this in a future episode. We did one last season. I think we can top that season, or we can top that episode, big time. What do you say? Are you game to talk about this more, uh, in a future episode?
I'm done. You tell
Okay,
me and we'll do that.
okay. And I want to go read Mr. Das's book, The Difficulty of Being Good. I think it was written in like 2008. But yeah, he's written other books too, but that was like the big one that stood out. So I guess more to come, folks, because AI will become a part of many conversations and will become a part of this. Um,
We want it
yeah,
or not, yeah, it will be
exactly,
part of
right?
us.
What are some final? You brought us in, Dr. Art, so I'll let you have the final word, and you can sign us off today.
So, one thing I want to say that one thing which I came to my mind, that in being real or in being yourself, kind of thoughts, people are becoming rude because this is me, this is how I am. So I would say that being real doesn't mean you are rude, or being real doesn't mean that you bring other people down. That is not being you. That is, you can put your point, or you are not fixing other personalities. So you can put your point in a certain way, that you can also convey what you want, and the other person also understand. So there is always a middle ground. So I would say that take consideration, as you are human being, the other people are also, you have equal right, then the other people also have their own journey. So I would say when there will be a judgment free zone, then people can express themselves without being, vulnerable, or they can show their vulnerable part to each other. So self awareness is very important in this part, and we all are connected. So have respect for each other, rather than just going by words and social, whatever is in trend. Rather than that, live your life so nicely that you can feel that I am living it. I'm not just going because someone else is doing that. I want to do that. That's why I'm
Feel in
doing
the
that.
driver's seat.
So just have faith in yourself, and enjoy your life. I think the only thing which I want to say, people are showing the realness, but online, but still it is what is socially acceptable. So be aware about it. Like whatever we are putting out there, it is also curated. It's not the real. It is part of the real self. I'm not saying everything is false, but be mindful that that is also curated. So don't be so influenced by that and make any drastic decision in your life that you feel that that will harm you in any way. So just be you, enjoy, and we have got this beautiful human life. You only get this once, as far as we know. I don't know about that. So just live your life fully.
I
That's it.
love it.
Put it on social media, don't put it on social media, but just enjoy
I
your
love
life
it. I love it. And on that thread,
and give
yeah,
that space to other
yes,
people also.
yes, 100%. So on that thread, I guess we should talk about in the next episode how we enjoyed our life when I visited India a second time. What do you think? We'll talk about that next week. Uh, okay.
Sure.
All right. Awesome. Well, great conversation, Dr. Art. Thank you. And thank you for beautiful words at the top and the end of the episode to bring us in and carry us out. Folks, on the topic of being real, do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? I'd love it if someone disagrees with us in the chat or agrees with us. And we do check. We can engage in a conversation, obviously respectfully, as Dr. Art was saying. But mostly we look forward to recording the next episode and catching you guys in episode 4. Thank you so much for tuning into the W.E.Podcast. For now, I'm gonna say bye. Dr. Art, say bye.
3 for my city, 4 for my city. No, I'm the one who'd go to war for my city. 5 for my city, 6 is my city. Holla at me if y'all vibe with my city. Come try on my city, don't you lie in my city. Symbol of truth, I'll fight for my city.
The West East podcast is part of the We campaign, also known as Anti-East Indian Hate Campaign by Vairagya Entertainment. You can weigh in on the conversation in the meantime in our comments section or on our social media. You can also visit www.imshivam.net/w.e. Remember, Vasudev Kutumbakam. We are all one family. Until next time.